Hello and welcome to the UnDateable Me podcast. I'm your host, the undateable Jimmy Lee Lard, the Sock Snob, and I have the best co-host in the world, the one, the only Holly DaBeamer with me. Hey, girl.
Hey.
This is our weekly show that deals with the struggles of relationships and dating. But we don't just talk about the problems. We are on a journey to find solutions, and we do it in a very entertaining way while being vulnerable. Because Holly got on all pink. I just think of pink as like the innocent little girl's like color, you know?
That's what it's giving.
There's some innocence in there. That's what it's giving.
Mm-hmm.
Except I just looked over there. I can see half of your titty. All right. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about, is sex important in your relationship? Let's go.
I see you hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. When we was together, I'll admit you had me gone. Now I'm by myself, and it feels good to be alone. Come on.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. We are back.
Yeah.
And with another episode. We had a good dinner last night.
It was so good.
So now it's time for us to get back to work here. So we're asking the question, or I'm asking you the question, Holly. Is sex important in a relationship?
It is. It's very important.
Okay.
Not just the physical aspect of it, but just
Well, hell, ain't sex physical? What do you mean?
yeah. But also, it lets you know if your partner can listen and know your needs and know what you like.
I didn't think of, okay, very good. I didn't think about it that way. So, yeah. Obviously, I think that, every healthy relationship probably is going to have a healthy sex relationship as well, or at least, for starters, at least for sure. At some point you get to the point where, you've been married for 20 and 25 years and you're like, don't even touch me. Like, what are you looking over here for? So,
that.
you have those relationships as well. So I know that there are relationships that can exist without sex,
Right.
or whatever, or with very little and so on. But I think that particularly starting off, sex is going to be an important part of a healthy relationship. And it helps with the emotional connection as well, too,
Yeah.
You've given yourself to somebody holy. And so, it's definitely an important component. So, do you think that if the sex was garbage, that that's a relationship you could stay in? And then, don't get me wrong, because some people, we quick to label everything garbage. Maybe they're good at this, and this, and not that. That's not what
Right.
this is. But some folks are just complete trash.
All the way around the board?
All the way around.
Have we talked about it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I
in your
think-
scenario.
Yeah, if we talk about it and I tell you like, okay, I like this, I don't like when you do this.
Yes.
And vice versa, because you might be doing something that your partner don't like and just don't want to say anything about.
Yeah. And I think that's important too. So, probably going to tell too much of my business at this very moment.
Let's go.
And hopefully a certain person is not listening. So, recently, I have started getting in these streets again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we're at that phase where we are exploring each other and so on, right? Because, new person, new things. I like to figure out what my person likes and, so I know to do that. Don't do this because, they don't get down with this part or whatever,
Right.
All the things, exploring, we're in that phase. So, yeah, I'm telling too much. So,
No, what they don't like.
so we were, no, not that. It's just that, I was exploring him in ways or whatever, and he was so quiet. And I was like, okay, I don't know.
You in your head.
Well, maybe he don't like that. So let me switch it up. Let me do it this way now or whatever. Damn, still quiet. Okay, whatever, So we're done. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know what else to do, so. So after that, so we go out to lunch or whatever. And he expresses how much he liked it. And I'm like,
Oh, fuck, why you didn't say nothing?
fuck. I was like, I told him, I was like, you are hard to read. I was like, you are like deaf mute right now. I don't know what's going on,
Right.
And I even explained, I was like, I'm trying. Okay, well, I did a few minutes of that. Well, time to switch it up to this or whatever,
Right.
He's like, no, you got skills and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, motherfucker, you could have saved us both some time and energy,
You
'cause
pulling
now,
out all the
now
tricks.
my back hurt, my neck hurt. He said, pulling out all the tricks. Right, shit. Trying to pull out all the clothes in my closet at one time, trying to figure out, So, but nonetheless, I think that, like you said, with some communication, you can get down to the bottom of what it is that your needs are.
Right.
And what you like, what you don't like. I prefer it up front. Like, I don't know why I've gotten this question so many times in my life. I think people assume that because I'm a gay man, I'm just a head doctor and I know all about head and do. But I get the question all the time, like, well, what's the best way to, how do you get a best head? By asking them what the hell they like.
Yes.
Because this one might like it sloppy. This one might not. This one might like you to
Play with the
A, B, or
balls
C. Or
and-
right.
yeah.
I've known somebody who you could not touch their balls.
What?
Yes, yeah. So, and then other folks, you can. So,
Right.
so you have to figure out. So there's not a blanket way of doing anything with anybody, So you have to figure out what works for that particular person and what they like. I don't care what they did on the porno you were watching 2 weeks ago, because if this person doesn't like it, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I just wanted to get to that. Now, the other thing I think that, sex in a relationship does, if you have communicated and you're winning, is it can boost your self-esteem a little bit. If you just did that or whatever, and they have, established with you that you did that, you know what I mean? It can help to boost your confidence and all of that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we give each other high fives after.
Oh my God, not high
High
fives.
five, baby.
Not a high
You did
five.
that.
Okay. Whatever works for y'all works for me. I like the high five, I guess. So I'm picturing y'all now in bed,
Yeah.
so you did that. But yeah, I think it does boost your self-esteem. And that can carry, let me tell you, people don't understand how our lives, it's not just what happened in the bedroom. Things flow out. You have a good, healthy sex life. Baby, you go to work all perky the next day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
You wouldn't have put up with a lot more stuff.
right. There's exactly, you know what I mean? Stuff that, a bitter, and this is why people say this, when you're at work and you got that one coworker or manager or whatever, and they're just buttholes all the time, just evil. And what's the first thought you always have?
They ain't getting no dick.
Right, exactly. She need to get some, or he ain't getting laid, or whatever, So I think that it will carry outside of the bedroom.
It's like the
and into your
endorphins or
life.
something,
Yeah,
right? It puts you in a better mood.
You floating on cloud nine, stuff that you otherwise would have tripped over. You like, fuck that.
I'm okay.
Right, I'm good. You know, be like, you're not mad? Okay. And listen, they put it down right, or, you know, whatever. You have a good, healthy experience in the bedroom. There's some stuff you will overlook in their lives, you know, with the person that you're with, you know. Oh, he didn't take out the trash. Fuck that trash. Here, I know he'll get it later. He's stressed. Or whatever.
He just put in a lot of work.
Right, he just put in all that work, you know. So, yeah. So, what about you now? Now that you're married, is it the same thing where it's something you continually focus on, or is it just like, oh shit, it's 8:30 on Wednesday. That's our night. Let me go in here and wash my cooch so we can. I don't know how y'all married people, schedule it.
We do be tired. Like, every
Yeah.
days I be like, man, I know he want a juice, but I'm tired. And he'll know too. He be like, he'll get the, doing stuff and touching me.
You done
He be
gave
like,
him that shoulder or some
nah,
shit.
I just sit there like, cause it's gonna work regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What's
Like,
gonna work?
Sheila, Big Sheila.
Not Sheila. She got a name.
Big Sheila gonna work.
And it's Sheila.
Now me, I might not work. I'm gonna sit there or whatever, but when the other person not really into it, it's just like, oh, they, you really don't want to do it. So, but we used to schedule it. I ain't gonna say schedule it,
Yeah.
but if we know we off, I think we kind of know in the back of our minds, like, oh yeah, we know we juicing because we off and we ain't gotta work or something like that.
Do you find that you have now sort of synced up on kind of when the both of you would want it or whatever? Or is it, one person still wants it more than the other, or one person feels like it more than the other?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I really don't know if he wants it more or if I want it more. I think it depends on the situation.
You want me to ask him? Jordan.
Who's the biggest freak?
Wait, notice how he didn't even look this way. He kept looking at the monitor. Was like, I'm not in this. Don't put me in y'all shit again.
Right. Yeah, but it's I think like you say, it's just a working thing. It's you do schedule time for it.
Yeah.
And of course it's spontaneous. And it don't start
I
from
like a schedule, but Gary.
yeah, but it just don't start from, like, okay, it's nighttime, let's juice. It start from before then. It could be the little things like, oh, he cleaned up, or he cooked, oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm
wait a
gonna do
minute.
this.
You one of these people that like foreplay starts with, he did the dishes, girl. Ooh,
Oh, he talking
okay,
nasty.
all right, yeah.
Like when you get home, I'm gonna be like, oh yes, okay. So it's but for me, I know a lot of females that do like that too. That it starts way before, so you kind of know, like, yep, make sure you get it in there real good, and you smell nice, and you look
Yes.
like something when they come
All the
home,
things,
or
yeah.
and vice versa. So
Starting off, was there maybe one who was a bit more risque, freaky than the other, or?
no, we juiced in the car. We juiced at his mama house.
God, I did not.
In the back of the
I
alley
did
on
not
Carlos.
ask for this level of detail in the answer. I was a
We
simple
did it
yes or no
everywhere.
would have sufficed. I be trying to save Holly from herself, y'all, but she's just gonna tell us all the places she did. We did it at our kids' kindergarten graduation, at the So
We've done some things.
I ain't mad. Listen, I ain't mad at it. For me, let me say this. I would say I am one who, and this is in a lot of aspects of relationship with me, I match the energy of the person I'm with. You know what I mean? You ain't no freak. I'm not no freak. Unless you need me to be the freak to bring that out in you or whatever.
Right.
But if you a freak, well, I guess we about to do some freaky stuff.
Right.
Because, but even in other aspects of the relationship, I can be, whether it's from how that person feels about public displays of affection. We ain't got to hold hands. We ain't got to never touch. Or we can walk down the street looking like we need a hotel. It don't matter. I
you able
will
to adapt?
flow with either one. And
Okay.
same thing with when it comes down to sort of the sexual aspect of a relationship. Hey, you want me to tie you to the ceiling fan and hit it every time it come around? Well, bitch, get your wing. We about to
Get a Red Bull. You gonna need wings.
whatever. So I just match energy. That's the way, I guess, the best way to describe it for me. So.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, you know, those conversations, probably even before y'all even get together, you know, what you like, what you don't like. Do you do this? Because now I know if I need to cut you off ahead of time. Oh, you don't get no head? You don't eat no booty? Okay.
Oh, hello.
Fine.
Thank
Like,
you.
We weren't going to work.
Should I say? No, okay, we're going
Yeah,
to move on. No. We'll say that shit for another episode when I was about to, what just came to my head. Anyway. So, I think that another thing to consider is that you need to also have other things in your life, though, other than sex.
Yeah.
Because I think there should be a balance. If it's all sex, then what happens when the sex dries up or they start losing interest in you, or he gains weight or you gain weight, or you don't fulfill this aspect of the fantasy anymore? I think there has to be other things that keep you there as well. So I think sex is obviously a big component of any relationship.
But it's not the only one.
But you need all the other stuff. You know, we were talking before about partnership, you know, having just a partner in life.
Right.
You know, that's important. Having security financially, having all the other things, support with the kids, and, you know, all those things that help balance it out. So I don't know what weight to give sex in an overall relationship. And I would imagine for some folks it's, you know, this amount, and for other folks it's more or less, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, you just have to consider other things. You know, is sex 20% of it, or is it, you know, weighted at, you know, just 5 or 10%, or is it more where that's like very important to both of you and sex is at 50%? You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, sex ain't necessarily a long time. Now, I say mix it up. Personally, you know, this night we might go on and you get the Jimmy special and get all the things, you know, right? And then other times it's like, look, let's just hit it and move on. You know what I mean? So
we got things to do. So
right,
but we want to do this.
Yeah. So so do you have to find that you balance that as well? That, you know, sometimes, you know, it's not that it has to wait until like a special occasion, like, oh, it's his birthday, we got to do the whole thing, you know, whatever. Or is
like
it just
fellatio?
No, I mean, no, just all whatever, you know. Because listen, like I said, based on you, because I match energy, we can have something that goes on for, you know, where we just get our rocks off and move on. Or, hey, I can make this thing last, whatever. We can get the massage oils out. We can do this. We can do that, or whatever. So, you know, where that shit lasts forever. So
yeah, I don't like nothing too long, but I think we kind of come accustomed to, like, we know the steps of what's not. I don't want to say predictable because that sounds bad, but that's also good too. You know what I mean? I think that I think 85-90% of the time we gonna do oral. Like that's in the mix. I think that's part of it. You know, but realistically, nobody is juicing for hours. Or give me a good solid 8 minutes. We got a playlist.
Yeah.
We stop at the same song every time. A good solid 8 is cool.
Because like you said, because there are multiple levels, phases, parts to this. So, you know, you may have you know, certain amount of time that you do this, certain amount of time he done moved to the nipples over here now, whatever, and so on, right? But the Pound Town part, if that shit is going on for 2 hours, like, I'm trying to figure out which drug you own. Is it cocaine or
Henny.
is it Henny ain't gonna have you go? Does it?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
I'd be like, it's only so much nasty stuff I can say. I'm tired. Like, I'm ready to wrap this up.
Right.
What? Don't let me get me off already.
Yeah.
Come on, let me hurry up and make this quick.
Right. And you just said so much nasty. So unlike the situation I had, clearly you are not the silent type that I was dealing with. Okay, cool. So
Yeah, I think women like
I think people,
talk you.
period.
Yeah,
well,
people.
Some, yeah.
Yeah, like a talk me through it. You know what I mean?
Or at the very least, get an idea of what works. Because I'm talking about like no feedback at all.
Did you ask him like, why you ain't say nothing?
I did then or whatever. And he's like, just, I don't know if it was
Is he shy?
nervousness. A little bit. So here's the thing. I've known him for a while. So, we talk openly and all of that, but we are just getting to this aspect of our relationship. You know what I mean? So this part is new. And I would imagine that as we continue along that path, then
You might let out.
right. Well, and now, like we were saying before, I've communicated that to him, and so I will guess now he would be like, "Oh, okay." Because sometimes he like, a person might be like, "Well, I don't know if that person would like me," and him moaning and shit. And I don't know, is your son upstairs or whatever, so I don't know.
What
so
if
you
next
never
time
know
they
what
decide to say something wild, you're gonna be like,
oh, now
they do.
I'm ignorant. I will say anything or do I'm not opposed. Like I said, I'm gonna match your freakiness.
Right.
So if you want to bring it, then I will bring it as well. I'm just as ignorant as you can. You can't get ignoranter than I can. I guarantee you. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that is one of those things where you have to communicate, like I said before. All right. But we briefly talked about not being satisfied sexually. Mm-hmm. Now, I know my brother Jordan puts it down, so I ain't even got to worry about that. But in your past, have you dealt with somebody that's just garbage and you like, yeah, this ain't gonna work?
Yeah, when I first started having sex.
Gotcha.
When I first started having sex, like what? 17,
Don't say
18?
the age. Okay, well, you done said
No,
it now. Shit.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
And I because you don't know you don't know your body, you don't know what you like.
Ooh, yes, I remember.
And,
even though I was a lot younger than you, but I still remember them first. I was dating women then while y'all over there talking shit. Okay, but anyway, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you kind of don't really fully know your body, and I don't even think I came until probably like my 20s. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you hear people say it, but you don't. You don't have that aha moment like, oh my God, this is the reason why people be doing it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you just not in tune with yourself. And then that's why I was saying, sex is about communication and listening to your partner, because you get somebody just want to get their roll off, because men ain't gonna do it. Automatically. I assume they come automatically. But, with women, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And if you don't know your body and your partner don't get to know your body, then it's just like you just fulfilling their need. You really don't get nothing from it.
And I think that sometimes, and this is whether this is gay, straight, or anywhere in between, I think you have some people who are people pleasers and are seeking to, like, their goal is to get you off.
I love a
You know
people
what
pleaser.
I mean?
Yes.
And then there are other people who are, look, I'm trying to get mine. You better find yours somewhere along the way of me getting mine or whatever. You know what I mean? So hopefully you are lucky enough to get connected with somebody who is intentionally trying to get you off. you know? So that makes a difference.
And that come in play of like, this person love you. This person, wants you to be like wrapped in and, I'm getting hot.
Oh. Like right now, or you were just saying that?
No, I'm just saying like.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was about to say, what the hell is going on in here?
No, I'm just saying like it, because like sex is not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing. It's an emotional thing.
And I think as you get older, your expectations change, because sometimes maybe when you're younger, or maybe even with older folks, but I think sometimes you have unrealistic expectations, like, oh, we gonna do it all night long. Wait, what? I don't even want that.
No, this
You
got
know
to
what I mean?
last.
So I think that sometimes those unrealistic expectations, or like what you were saying, not knowing your own body yet, I know like in the gay community, a lot of times, like young folks, when they first come out, they don't know if they're top or bottom, and it's just like anything else. You may not know if you like something until you've tried it or whatever.
Right.
So same thing, I guess, would apply to heterosexual relationships as well. So, there might be things you haven't tried. Now, in our last season, we had an episode about kinks and fetishes, recall, when we went through all the list of all these different kinks and fetishes or whatever. And we determined there's a lot of stuff that ain't for us, but there's stuff that we'll try that we had perhaps not even thought of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, no, and by the way, don't let me find out you and Jordan been... Now all of a sudden y'all peeing on each other. Shit. I mean, listen, I just pray to God that you don't pair me up with somebody that's into piss and shit.
So you can't adopt
That's
that?
a sewer.
You done it?
I don't want to. Yeah. Thankfully, the person who I'm dealing with now, we've talked about that particular topic, and that's it.
How you ask it? Because you got to ask it when you don't feel like you judging them.
Listen, I had to sneak it in there like, hey, now you into any, I'm like, I want to make sure I consider your needs and, what you like. Now, are you into anything freaky? You got any kinks or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm willing to try anything once, that type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, and then this is where you sneaking in. I'm like, oh, okay, because, I'm just trying to see, find out you like, shit smeared on your forehead or something.
Been to Dubai recently?
Oh, my God.
Right.
So, but yeah, thankfully we are on the same page on that.
That's good.
So we don't even have to, because you're not finna fuck up my sheets.
Because who finna clean them?
Not this thread count. No, but so I think you just have to match. But again, there's others. Now, I won't say flat out, I'll try anything once. I'm not finna give you that blanket statement and then you pull some weird shit out of nowhere. But, I'll assess, something that you're trying to do.
Does that make you stop messing with the person? Because what if they pull out something that you just know you're not dealing with, but you love this person?
I would just tell them that that's not something I wouldn't do. Now, if it's something that's so important to them, and I've said before, there's not a whole lot I would be willing to do with a person I'm in a... Wait, I'm sorry. Did I say that back? There's not a lot of things I'd be willing to sort of discount and not do if I'm in a committed relationship with that person.
Okay.
Now, you're not going to be... Not that I'm, out here on apps or whatever. I'm just... It's just not my style. But we not going to meet on some dating site and you come through here and think you, just because we are hooking up or connecting, that you got the right to smear shit on my forehead. Because I promise you will get punched in your throat. So, but if it's in a committed relationship, and even then, I would suggest you not smear shit on my forehead. But these are things we have conversations about. But even then, like I said, there are things I'd be willing to try if presented. I'm like, okay, whatever. You want me to put on a diaper and quack like a duck?
I fly.
Quack. Okay. Shit. So whatever. But yeah, that would be in a committed relationship only. If Jordan, maybe Jordan saw something on, something his buddy showed him at work, like, man, you see this, and Jordan like, let me, okay, and he presents it to you, so, Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't get like some people enjoy pain during sex, like I want to spank you till your butt red and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if you want me to spank you until your butt is red,
How do you?
that's fine. But I ain't asked you to spank me.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you hit me the wrong way, I'm gonna turn around and slap the shit out you. So, not the shit that you want either. So yeah, overall, I think the important part of this is that I think that sex is important in relationship, but just like anything else, you have to have some communication around it about, what you both like. Because there should be also, it can't just be one-sided either, unless, because sometimes, like I said, there are people who are people pleasers and they get joy from,
Right.
making sure you get to that spot. I'm sort of one of those people, and maybe that's why it's so easy for me to match energy because, I'm doing something that I'm thinking is pleasing you in that way
Right.
or whatever. So, but otherwise, like I said, there needs to be some equity in that. You can't be the one doing all the tricks and, doing somersaults and landing right on his crotch or whatever,
Right.
all those old stripper tricks, So, if I got to do all these acrobatics, damn it, you need to do something too. Learn something. But, and again, everybody's not going to be skilled in that area or in that way. So we just have to make do.
Communication.
Anything else to add?
People go out here and have a good, healthy sex life. Would you say, Jimmy, just try anything once? Just
Yeah, for the most part. Wait. I'll try most things once. So,
Right.
Yeah, there just shouldn't be too many things that are just flat out off limits,
Yeah.
Like I said, I draw the line at shit for sure. That's just out. And urine, I'm not into, but we would have to set some serious parameters. Because we got to do it in the shower because I need to clean immediately. Any urine going near my mouth or in my mouth, we can wrap this up now. Matter of fact, no, urine is out. Urine is in the same bucket as I done talked myself out of it. So, yeah, it ain't happening. So, but yeah, so.
Clean.
Like you said, enjoy your sex life
Yeah.
the way you want to do it. And that is not to knock any of you that like a golden shower every now and then. What do they call it when, scatting or some shatting? I don't know. It was something like that. Anyway, do you. All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the UnDateable Me podcast. We are on YouTube if you want to see our pretty faces at Sock Snob Films and use the podcast tab. And then we are also available, of course, on all available podcast. I can't talk right now.
That's because they got you shook.
Okay, we started talking about that shit is the problem. So, but in either case, don't forget to subscribe to both of those. Thank you, Holly, as always, the co-host with the mostest. All right, we'll see you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe.